Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. In this opportunity, I'll give you a summary of my latest speech at the Turning Point Action Conference. Just for clarity purposes, this was a 40 minutes video, but it was made shorter using PodFast, an AI content summary tool. All right, folks, strap in because we're going for a wild ride on this one. In this rant, I'm going to dive headfirst into the concept of freedom and how it's being twisted in today's society. Let me tell you, what we have here is a classic case of the media spreading lies and manipulation. The news media every single day is twisting the truth and pushing their own agenda. It's like they're playing a game, trying to silence the honest voices that dare to speak the truth. When you tell the truth, you become powerful. It's like a surge of energy that comes from somewhere else. And the more you speak the truth, the stronger you become. It's an amazing feeling, let me tell you. Now let's talk about my recent experience interviewing politicians. Politicians, on the surface, may seem soulless and desperate for affirmation from strangers. But in person, they can be quite charming. It's like they've mastered the art of shallow small talk, which I must admit is a skill I appreciate. But here's the thing, folks. Most politicians have internalized the rules set by their opponents. They go into debates already believing that they are wrong. And let me tell you, that's a surefire way to lose any argument. If you've already decided that the other person is right, you're not going to get very far. And this problem extends to the big issues. Take COVID, for example. We were all bombarded with rules and mandates, and anyone who dared to question or opt out was labeled a criminal. But here's the thing. Shouldn't we have the right to make our own decisions about our health and our lives? Shouldn't we question the evidence and think for ourselves? It's like we've accepted the terms set by the media and the government without even questioning them. The same goes for international affairs, like the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. We're told that one side is evil and the other is virtuous, and there's no room for debate. But shouldn't we have the right to decide who we hate or support? It's not a criminal act to have a different opinion. And all of this is a result of allowing propaganda and manipulation to control our thoughts. We're not allowed to have dissenting opinions, and it's affecting our civilization. Take graffiti, for example. It's a sign of the collapse of society. We're allowing people to destroy what we've built, and we're not fighting back. We've lost our self-respect. So let's not let the propagandists dictate the terms. Let's question, let's think for ourselves, and let's stand up for what we believe in. It's time to break free from the manipulation and reclaim our power. No more lies, no more manipulation. It's time for truth, freedom, and self-respect. You know, folks, I've been thinking and observing, and it's clear to me that our democracy is under attack. How, you ask? Well, it's simple. When you start taking away the power and voice of large segments of the population, you're essentially attacking democracy itself. And let me tell you, that's exactly what's been happening. In the name of defending democracy, we've been stripping away the very things that make democracy thrive. Our core freedoms guaranteed in the Bill of Rights. It's like going to war for democracy while supporting a government that does the exact opposite. Banning opposition parties, jailing opposition leaders, silencing free speech, and even shutting down elections. It's become such a mockery of democracy that they don't even bother with elections anymore. It's like a so-called pure democracy with no elections. Can you even imagine? But here's the thing, folks. The way they respond when you challenge their approved narrative tells you a lot about what truly matters to them. If you were to say something absolutely ridiculous, like Papua New Guinea is the most powerful nation in the world, no one would bat an eye. They'd simply brush it off as nonsense. Because deep down, they know it's not true. Just like how those flat earth believers have been flying under the radar for so long. Not that I'm endorsing their theories, but you get my point. What really scares them, what really makes them react, are the truths that challenge their narrative. They're not interested in punishing lies. Oh no, they reserve their punishment for those who dare to tell the truth. It's like you could commit all sorts of actual crimes, fraud, arson, even starting counterproductive wars that harm our own people. And you might face some consequences, but there will always be a balanced view about your actions. People might say, well, he made some mistakes, but we all do, right? Can you believe it? But when it comes to thought crimes, that's a whole different story. Thinking the wrong thing, having the wrong beliefs, or saying unapproved words, those are the crimes they focus on. And those words, my friends, those words are usually true. Now, I'm not saying it's easy to discern what's true in this confusing world. I mean, I avoid the news like the plague. Who needs that kind of dishonesty in their lives? But the truth is, none of us can ever fully grasp the precise truth about everything. We're not gods, after all. However, there is a way to get closer to the truth. And it's simple, really. Just pay attention to the thought criminals and what they're saying. When they get censored, you know they've hit a nerve. Those who censor your words and thoughts, They have an uncanny ability to distinguish what's important. They can smell it, just like a dog sniffing out a bone. They don't waste their time on trivial matters. They laser focus on what truly matters to protect their narrative. So, next time you encounter a story or debate that seems utterly insane, ask yourself, why are they throwing this at me? Could it be a deliberate distraction to divert our attention from the things that truly matter? I think so, folks. I really do. We're bombarded with irrational claims like men giving birth or giving back Nebraska to an Indian tribe that doesn't exist anymore. And while it's important to push back against such absurdity, we must also recognize that it might be a tactic to keep us preoccupied while they loot our country. And let's not forget the topics they don't want us to touch. The war in Ukraine, COVID, and the events of January 6th. These are the things they fiercely protect from scrutiny. There's a reason for that, my friends. It's not a coincidence. Trust me. Now, did you hear about that story in the Biden White House? Apparently, someone left an 8-ball of cocaine in a public place. And you know what? It just doesn't add up. It's so out of character, don't you think? I mean, I wouldn't believe it for a second. It's clearly a setup. Just like that guy, Marion Barry, they set him up too. Seriously, it explains everything. So here's my advice, folks, based on my 27 years in the television business. Don't trust a man with numb gums, and always question the narratives they want us to believe. Our democracy depends on it. Thank you for listening to this PodFast of my speech on the Turning Point Action Conference. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. See you next time.